Welcome to our session today, Managing
Financial stress. Before we get started, I wanted to share a few things about Summit Credit Union and why we prioritize our financial wellness. At Summit, we believe that no matter where you are in life, making smart money choices is the key to being financially successful. That, of course, starts with the right tools, knowledge, and resources. And our number one priority is making sure that our members get the service and education they deserve. And we believe this happens together. For years now, Summit Credit Union has been working in the area of financial empowerment and financial wellness. It's led us to create education and resources that go far beyond the typical budgeting and how to pay off your credit card debt sessions. We delve deep into how our relationships with money and our emotions play a huge role in how we feel about our money and how we use it. We've trained our staff to be aware of how money is more than just getting your paycheck and paying your bills, saving and spending it, or even just applying for a loan. Our staff are financial coaches, and they help thousands of people every year gain financial wellness. We're hoping that this session today provides you a little bit of comfort in being able to manage your financial stress. Here are some of the things that we're going to share today. We're going to teach you how to identify your financial stressors. We're going to share with you financial stress relieving strategies and tools to use, including knowing where you stand right now and how to manage and understand your cash flow better. We're also going to give you strategies to saving to build wealth and a plan for reducing your debt. I wanted to start off by sharing this definition of financial stress. It's the physical or emotional reaction to our money-related concerns. It's a difficulty meeting basic financial commitments due to a shortage of money. And I'm sure you've felt this before, the tension in your shoulders, the headaches, the worry, and everything that includes the trouble sleeping. It's trying to figure out how you're going to pay for this or that, and it's just the overwhelm of it all. From low-paying jobs to the gender pay gap that women face, the ups and downs of our economy and the interest rates driving the price of everyday goods and services up, there's a lot to contribute to our current financial stress. So I wanted to share some types of stress, and at Summit Credit Union, we talk about it in 3 different ways: the physical, the emotional, and the financial. The physical stress is things like those sleep problems, headaches, things that tie to our medical well-being. Then there's our emotional stress, feelings of shame and guilt and embarrassment, and our ability to communicate with others and set boundaries. And sometimes it's even those value conflicts that we have. And then there's the financial stress and anxiety due to the balances in our checkbook or the debt that we carry. There's so many things that stress us out, from value conflicts with family members to our ability to pay our monthly bills, to not paying down our credit card debt and getting frustrated, to struggling to pay for those medical bills that might come up, and just generally feeling a lack of protection when it comes to not having enough money in your savings account when unexpected expenses come up. That's why stress isn't what happens to us, it's really our response to what happens. When someone meets with a Summit financial coach, we often talk to them and help identify what's actually causing their financial stress. Just by talking this through and identifying it more specifically really helps a person get a better understanding of how they can move forward. So what we want to do today is we wanted to share with you 5 steps for reflecting on financial stress. The number one thing you can do is make a list. Then it's important to reflect on each item in that list. Circle the things that you have control over, because some things you might not. Prioritize the list and then create some action steps. When you write everything down, you can visually see what exactly you're worried about. Those examples might be not having enough to retire, stress over putting vacations on your credit card bills, figuring out how to pay for your kids' college tuition. Always when something comes up as an emergency or an unexpected expense, you end up putting it on your credit cards and just being completely frustrated. So as you reflect on this list, it's really important for you to think about what exactly is causing you stress and how does it make you feel. When you do these 2 things, it's easier for you to identify what you have control over. Once you know the things that you have control over, the things that you can actually do something about, prioritize those things. Create that list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and ask yourself why it's important to you. And the last thing you want to do is make specific practical steps that you can do. Maybe it's calling the financial institution that you currently work with to ask them some questions. Maybe it's creating a debt paydown plan. Maybe it's even setting an automatic payment from your checking account to a savings account so that you can start saving automatically every time you get paid. The major money stressors that Summit Credit Union has done research on is people's lack of money management habits. A lot of times we just get our paychecks and spend it. And oftentimes that means we have little or no savings because we're not paying attention to where our money goes. And when we don't have enough money, it often goes on our credit cards. Many of us, I know we try our very, very best to manage our money with what we learned growing up. But the banking industry has so many technological advances over the last 20 years, from apps to payment services to tapping and paying on your phone. It can be really hard to know what the balance is in your checkbook. A Forbes advisor survey from 2024 said that 1 in 4 Americans have savings under $1,000. And at Summit Credit Union, we know that you have to have at least $1,000 in a savings account to weather any unexpected expense. And according to a CNBC 2024 article, the average American now has over $8,000 in credit card debt. We know that juggling monthly payments, multiple different cards, multiple different payments in the middle of a month can be really, really stressful. So how can you add to your money management skills? How can you enhance those to reduce that financial stress? Number one is knowing where you stand. It means knowing how much money you make and where it's all going every time you get paid and the times in between. It means asking questions, seeking out resources, advice, watching videos on the Summit Credit Union website. Sometimes we're really hesitant to ask for advice because we don't want people to feel like we don't know what we should know. But you know what? We all grew up differently. Consider changes and take actions. This is really being about flexible and making changes over a short period of time. Just because you implement something doesn't mean you have to stick to it long term. It's all about exploring how money works for you in the best possible way. And it's really, really important to monitor and review. Logging into your app every couple days, knowing what's coming in and out of your account, even setting reminders on your phone to check your money in your account before you go shopping. These are all ways that you can reduce stress. Another tool that we have, and this is just a review on the slide of how you can own your money, is our daily expense worksheet. If you search it on our website, summitcreditunion.com, you can find it, download it, put it into a Google Drive or an Excel worksheet, and it really gives you the opportunity on pen and paper to track where your money is going in certain categories. Now, we do have a really great personal financial management tool inside online banking. It's called Climber. If you click on it, let it populate all the good stuff that's coming in through your transactions in your checking account. It'll actually add it up for you. So whichever way you choose, it's really important to see how much money you're spending in all of the categories that you see on the screen. The very next thing that we have to help you is the budget worksheet. So it's also important to think about how you manage your paycheck and your cash flow. How are your accounts set up? Are you using automatic transfers? So the budget worksheet is really great because you have a now column and a future column. It allows you to see where you're spending your money now and where you could be putting your money in the future. Now, here's a really great tip for people to help with their cash flow. If you divide each of your bills in half every time you get paid and put that amount of money in a savings account, take it out of your checkbook, you will have a more realistic balance in your checkbook so that you can make different choices when you're spending. When that bill is due, after you get paid the very next time, put the money back in your account and pay that monthly bill. Besides using accounts and automatic transfers, we have a fantastic tool, like I said, on our budget worksheet, on our website called the Budget Worksheet. And remember, we do have Climber as well to help you be able to save, spend, and be able to see all of your debts in one place. What we do recommend for people is that you save more money, even if it's a small amount. What we've learned is many Americans are only saving about 3% of their income for unexpected expenses in the future. This doesn't even account for the money that you have in your retirement account. So that means for someone who's making about $50,000 a year, they're really only saving $1,000 to $2,000 in savings. And truthfully, what we've found at Summit is that's not enough. So how can we help you save early and often? You might have heard this saying before, but here's how you specifically do that. You use multiple savings accounts. And at Summit Credit Union, you can open up multiple savings accounts underneath your main account number in online banking. You can set up automatic transfers for every single time you get paid to put money into these savings accounts. They could be for emergency savings, oil changes, repairs, projects, entertainment, vacations, and so much more. It's really easy to do, but once you put $25 here, $10 here, $150 there, you're automatically being able to save for the things that you need ahead of time and being able to build your wealth as well. Now let's talk a little bit about paying off debt. Just like we had that budget worksheet, we do have a debt payoff strategy for you as well. It's all about knowing how much you owe. The best place to look is annualcreditreport.com. It gives you a complete listing of all of your debts. Now, what we recommend is taking a plain old piece of paper, putting all of your accounts on that piece of paper by smallest balance to largest balance. What we recommend is paying off the smallest balance first. It doesn't matter the interest rate, but what we want to do is take that small minimum payment that you might be paying and get rid of that, or at least be able to add that money to the next most expensive monthly payment that you have to be able to make a bigger payment the next time. Using this strategy is really going to help you. And you can use that budget worksheet to be able to plan which ones are going to be done when. So for example, if it's going to take you 3 months to pay off a certain amount of credit card debt, you can then plan that on your budget worksheet. And then the next time when you pay that off, create a new plan to take the money, move it to that other column where you have that next smallest debt, and be able to use that budget worksheet moving forward. So now it's your action time. What are you going to do? We've taught you a lot of different things today. And so whatever your financial stressor might be, we highly encourage you to take and make an action plan for you to move forward. So some of the things that we shared with you today are how to identify financial stressors, stress relieving strategies, such as knowing where you stand and managing your cash flow, strategies for saving, and a plan, that snowball method, to reduce your debt. So I wanted to thank you so much for tuning in to this session today. If you have any questions, you can email us at summitfinancialeducation@summitcreditunion.com. Thank you and be well.